This week in writing, we will talk about genres. So today's genre that we will talk about is fairy tales. So hopefully all of you are familiar with fairy tales. So I am just going to go ahead and read part of a fairy tale now so you have kind of a good example of what a fairy tale is. And then I'll go over my anchor chart and then I will show you what some of your writing will look like. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so I'm casting a spell. Meet a fairy tale witch. So I'm going to go ahead and make it full screen. And now I'm on Epic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page. So meet a witch. Ee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Who's that swooping across the sky? Is it a bat? No, it's me. My name is Hex. I'm a witch from the scariest kind of fairy tale. Fairy tale witches have magical powers. Watch out. All I have to do is say the right words. Then I flick my magic wand. Poof! I've turned you into a toad. Night fright. You don't need to hop away. Witches like me aren't real. You won't find us outside of make-believe. We fly around spooky stories. We have creepy green skin and make evil plans. Fairy tale witches usually look like old women. My clothes are as dark as the night. So is my tall pointed hat. I use my warty nose to sniff out children. Even my cat Curses is black. He helps me with my magic. After a hard day of casting spells, we love to travel. We love to go flying. Broomsticks are the witchy way to travel. All right, so that is part of a fairy tale. Now that's kind of introducing you to witches and what they do in fairy tales. So I'm going to go ahead and show you our anchor chart for fairy tales. I always have problems with this document camera. It never wants to connect. There we go. All right, so our anchor chart, which is up on Monday's Canvas page today. So I don't think all of it fits into the screen, so I'll have to just move it for us. So what do we find in a fairy tale? All right, so I'm going to start over here. Usually there's special powers. So not like superheroes, like witches, how they can cast spells. There's always a good versus evil. Very easy to point out. Usually have a happy ending. Okay, there's magic involved. There's a clear problem and a solution. Sometimes there's royalty. Now there's enchanted settings, so royalty live in castles and forests. You could say swamps and other things like that. And then there's talking animals. And with talking animals goes along with the unusual characters. So witches, giant, elves, those would be like unusual characters. And usually you can tell if it's a fairy tale if there's a special beginning. The most common one is once upon a time. All right, so that's our anchor chart, which should be up on the Canvas page in your checklist or below the checklist. So let me go ahead and share it with you what I think our writing should look like for today. So let me go to my daily writing journal. So I already have it pulled up, but since it is Monday, I'll go ahead and share with you how you will find your daily writing journal since you only have one, and you should have already shared it with me at only once. Once you shared it with me once, then I have it forever. Okay, so I'm going to go to my drive, and I'm going to search for daily writing journal. So I'm going to search, it's going to load, and there's mine. It says my name, so it's easy for me to find. So there, I've already pulled it up for us. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to add today's date, which is 8/17, oops, too far, 2020. So let me go ahead and exit out of this one. All right, so I'm going to try and write a fairy tale today. So I'm just going to come up with my own. Maybe I'll use Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, there was, let's see, what should I write about? I'll write about an elf. An elf. And it looks like my computer does not want to be fast. So we'll go ahead and give that a moment to refresh. So I already have my beginning and I've already introduced an unusual character. So I'm going to go ahead and try to add in some of these elements from our anchor chart. So I'm going to say he wasn't an ordinary elf because he was able to move around quickly. I'm not going to say move around quickly because that kind of sounds like a superhero. I'm going to say he was able to get his work done quickly. Now I know that's kind of similar, but I'm going to add on to that so it's obvious that it's not like a superhero. So I'm going to go ahead and add on and write about this. So there was only one problem. Do you notice how I spelt out the word one? I want you to do that the same when you write, okay? Don't take the easy way out because you'll never grow as a writer. He had a nemesis. Let's give him a name. So let's call him Squiggy. Squiggy the elf was a good elf because he helped keep the king and queen entertained. Squiggy would come up with games for the entire castle to enjoy. All right, so that is what your writing will look like. So try to include as much of the fairy tale elements that you can, and let's try to build our stamina as well. So let's see, on Friday we left off at 8 minutes. So since we had a break on the weekend, let's try and write for 8 minutes again today, trying to write in a fairy tale style. Remember, if you have any questions, I always have office hours from 1:30 to 2 over Zoom, or you can call me. You can always message me on Canvas or send me an email.